Hey everybody, welcome to our part 2 reaction to Pantheon. Now in the first reaction, we only did his voice lines. This was very early on in my reactions where I was just kind of doing the voice lines. I was just kind of getting the feel for the characters at first, but now I kind of got the thing down where I kind of want to learn like fully everything about the characters. So we're going to do that today with Pantheon in part 2. We're going to take a look at his story, we're going to take a look at his biography, and then his voice lines from Runeterra are going to be in this reaction as well. And then we're also going to take a look at his skins. I don't believe we really went into his skins at all. And then we're just going to learn as much as we can about Pantheon in general, right? So let's go ahead and dive in. And again, just to repeat, the first part of this reaction, we have the voice lines in the other video if you want to check that out first. Otherwise, we're going to go really into Pantheon's story in this one. All right, taking a look at his League of Legends page here, we have, "Here's my eternity, a day the gods will remember." That's a very Pantheon quote from what I know about him. Role is fighter. Region is Mount Targon. And then related champions, of course, we have Aatrox, Aurelion Sol, and Leona. All right, and then taking a look at the paragraph here, it says, "Once an unwilling host to the aspect of war, Atreus survived when the celestial power within him was slain, refusing to succumb to a blow that tore stars from the heavens." Okay. "In time, he learned to embrace the power of his own mortality and the stubborn resilience that goes along with it. Atreus now opposes the divine as Pantheon reborn, his unbreakable will fueling the fallen aspect's weapons on the field of battle." All right, very interesting. Let's go ahead and get into his full biography here. Pantheon, the Unbreakable Spear. Atreus was born on the hostile slopes of Targon and named after a star in the constellation of war known as the Pantheon. From an early age, he knew he was destined for battle. Like many in his tribe, he trained to join the Rakor's militant order, the Rahoric. Never the strongest or the most skilled warrior, Atreus somehow persevered, standing up, bloodied, and bruised after each bout. In time, he developed a fierce rivalry with a fellow recruit, Pylus, but no matter how often Atreus was cast onto the stones, he stood back up. So he's very resilient, yeah? Pylus was impressed by his unrelenting endurance, and through the blood they spilled in the training circle, a true brotherhood was born. Okay, so Pylus ended up being like a rival, but also like a good friend. Atreus and Pylus were among the Rakor who stumbled across a barbarian incursion, surviving the ambush that left the rest of their patrol dead. When the aspect of the sun refused to destroy these trespassers, Atreus and Pylus swore to capture the power of the aspects themselves by climbing to the peak of Mount Targon. Okay, so when they're referring to the aspect of the sun, they're speaking specifically of Leona, or was there somebody else that had the aspect of the sun before? Like so many before them, they underestimated how arduous the ascent would be, with Pylus shivering his last upon finally reaching the summit. Only Atreus remained as the skies opened, making him host to a divine aspect with the power to take revenge. But it was not a man who returned to the Rakor afterwards, spear and shield gleaming with celestial might. It was the aspect of war itself, the Pantheon, right? Judging Atreus unworthy, a warrior who had known only defeat, it had taken control of his body to pursue its own ends, a task it considered too great for mortal men. Okay, so it just totally took over Atreus's body, and just that's it, right? And that's the Pantheon that we know. Cast into the furthest corners of his own mind, Atreus endured only vague visions as the aspects scoured the world for darkened living weapons created in a bygone age. Okay, so straight up Pantheon just on a mission looking for darkened to kill them, right? Eventually, Pantheon was goaded into battle not far from Mount Targon by the darkened Aatrox, who sought the mountain's peak. Their fight raged into the skies and swept through the armies of men beneath, until the impossible occurred. The Darken's god-killing blade was driven into Pantheon's chest, a blow that carved the constellation of war from the heavens. But as the aspect faded, Atreus, the man it had considered weak, awoke once more. Nonetheless, Atreus just does not die in battle, like he's resilient, yeah? Impaled upon Aatrox's blade, and with the power of the aspect's weapons dimming, he took a ragged breath and spit in the Darken's face. Aatrox sneered and left Atreus to die. Wait, no way. He spits in Aatrox's face? That's hilarious. I did not know that. That's a bold move. Hours later, as the crows descended, Atreus painfully stood back up, stumbling back to the Rakor in a trail of blood. After a lifetime of defeat, his will to live and his anger at betrayal were enough to stave off the death that had claimed war itself. Atreus recovered on Pylus's homestead, nursed back to health by his friend's widow, Lula. There, is it Lula or Iula? I think it's Iula there. There, Atreus realized he'd spent his life looking to the stars, never considering what lay beneath. Unlike gods, mortals fought because they must, knowing that death lay in wait. It was a resilience he saw in all life, the threats unending. Indeed, barbarian invaders now threatened the Rakor's northern settlements, including Iula's farm. though it was months before he could lift a spear. Atreus was determined to end the scourge himself and eventually set out with the Aspect's dulled weapons in hand. Yet when he arrived, he found his sworn enemies already under siege. He knew from their cries, from the overwhelming stench of blood, they faced Aatrox. Okay, so Aatrox ends up just killing his enemies, but what's going to happen here? It was Aatrox who had driven the barbarians into Targon, Atreus realized. Though he'd considered them his foes, they were much like the Racker, mortals who suffered in the conflicts between greater powers. Atreus felt a cold rage at both the Darkin and the Aspects. They were no different. They were the problem. This is more just like, okay, so this is Atreus realizing that like the gods, the Darkins and the Aspects are actually the problem, not the mortals. Atreus put himself between the barbarians and Aatrox, recognizing the battered shield and spear of the fallen Aspect. The Darkin mocked him. What hope had Atreus now, without the Pantheon's power? But even though Aatrox's blows cast him to his knees, Atreus' own will reignited the Aspect's spear upon hearing the cries of the people around him, and with a mighty leap he struck a blow that severed the Darkin's sword arm. Wait. What? That actually happened? So wait. What actually powers the spear? It says Atreus' own will reignited the Aspect's spear upon hearing the cries of the people around him. So it's like Atreus was like super determined just by hearing all the people around him, and like his determination and his resilience essentially kind of like reignited the spear. Okay, and then he struck a blow at the sever that the Darkins. Okay, both Blade and Darkin fell to the ground. Only Atreus still stood and watched his namesake star blaze back to life in the heavens. Though he often yearns to return to Iula's farm, Atreus vowed that day to stand against Aspects, Ascended, demons, and any who wield power so great it can only destroy. Forsaking his own name, he has become a new Pantheon, the Aspect's weapons fueled by the will to fight that can only exist in the face of death. For with the divine Pantheon gone, war must be reborn in man. Okay, so, I mean, I generally knew... I generally knew because I've reacted to Aatrox already, reacted Pantheon a little bit with the voice lines and stuff, but I didn't know the fine details. First off, I didn't know Atreus spits in Aatrox's face. Funny. I also didn't know that I didn't fully realize that I guess Atreus reignites the spear and is now like still Pantheon or like a new Pantheon because of this. And it's very cool that his story is like, oh, the Aspect of War initially thought him to be weak, and truly Atreus himself is not weak. It's a little weird him being called Pantheon. I almost want him to be called Atreus because it like kind of confuses me with him being called Pantheon, even though like he becomes Pantheon whenever the Aspect of War first initially takes over his body, and then like, you know what I mean? So it's a little like confusing that I just want to call him Atreus instead of Pantheon half the time. Yeah, this was some fine details though. I didn't realize. Okay, I thought Aatrox. Yeah, I think I only knew. I mean, it's been a while since I've re-upped on the whole Aatrox Pantheon story, but I thought I only knew the Aatrox killing Pantheon part, but then, you know, he didn't actually die. He just killed the Aspect of War and Atreus still lived. I didn't know that Atreus reignites the spear and then kills or severs the Darkin's sword arm, and then both Blade and Darkin fell to the ground. So then obviously, you know, Aatrox being, you know, a living weapon, he just finds another host. But yeah, I didn't know that this was a thing. And then also at the end here, so his current viewpoint is that he doesn't like Aspects, he doesn't like Ascended, he doesn't like demons, he doesn't like anybody who can wield power so great. So I wonder if that like kind of includes, like, I guess who else could we include? Any magic users? I don't know. No, it can't include just magic users. Or like, where I guess the void, like void beings, probably. He obviously isn't too keen to those kinds of folk. But anyways, yeah, I didn't know any of this. I almost want to say I knew like the beginning portion here. I guess I didn't know that his best friend and rival ends up dying during the climb to the peak of Mount Targon. But I didn't know like the spitting in Aatrox's face and then him defeating Aatrox. I didn't know, like, they're basically 1-1 and we need a round 3. I feel like, where's round 3? Is that going to come at some point? I don't know. I feel like also we don't have a cinematic of them dueling. How do we not? There's gotta be a cinematic somewhere created or something. Was there not an actual cinematic created by Riot of these two fighting each other? Because that would be the most epic thing, would it not? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. Let's go ahead and move on to the story. I don't know what the story is going to be about. For those who have fallen. So maybe this is going to be him like just helping people with his new power. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're going to read the story for those who have fallen. When I land in the ruins of Naramazeth, it does not feel as if I have leapt, celestial magic burning my path across the sky, but as if I have fallen. I am, after all, only a man. Around me on the swirling dunes, a cohort of Rahorak fights Solari warriors far from the temples of Mount Targon. You know, I need to learn about the Solari and the Lunari lore. I'm not very, honestly, I don't think I know like anything about the whole Solari Lunari stuff in Mount Targon. I'm very like in the dark on that stuff, so maybe we'll do some Solari like Leona or Diana in the future. Yeah, you guys let me know. They have marched with 50 spears 3 weeks into the desert, a distance I have crossed in moments, to investigate a power that grows even as their own wanes. Here the sun they worship is so constant, it is as if the shadows of the past are still burned into the desert, their outline all that remains of an empire long lost. Buildings now covered in dunes, a sun once meant to raise men into the heavens, now dulled and fallen to earth. Shurima was born and died here. It was in Naramazeth that the first ascended were created, meant to defend Shurima against any threat. Those that outlived the empire were driven mad by long centuries of conflict, becoming darkened and laying waste to the world before being contained. Okay, that's just like a little recap on the whole darkened lore. But as I well know, some abominations birthed by Shuriman hubris live on. The sound of metal rings in my ear as a spear whips past my helm. Then another and another. The ringing rises up into a full battle cry as the Rahorak unleash their might. Yet as steel fills the sky, a blast of magic tears through the spear's path, carving a swath of destruction through the ruins. Once the dust clears, I see it, the reason I have come. A creature looms, burning and broken like the empire it would rule. It is unlike any ascended I have ever seen. A shattered god that has claimed this fallen city, it would see it rise again. Wait, are we seeing Aatrox? But once, it too was a man. I will remind it what that means, to draw a breath in the face of destruction. I will remind them all. The god warrior, one of the Rahorak cries, we cannot defeat it. Let me show you how a god dies, I bellow in response, and I charge toward the creature, raising my spear. It is with their power that the spear glows, the power of the gods, the power of the stars. My muscles strain to bear the strange weight of the magic as the creature unleashes another blast from within its shattered form. My spear is not burned away as the Rahoraks were, but instead burns with its own light. It streaks like a comet at the ascended, casting it to the earth, and its blast into the heavens. What is he fighting right now, or who is he fighting? Before me, only feet from the rent opened by the creature's blast, a Rahorak cradles the body of a fallen warrior. Her own arm has been scorched by magic where she sought to shield him from the attack. You are an aspect, she says, though in her eyes I can see the desperation. She's pleading, begging me to say yes so that I can save her, so that I can save her friend. All around, the Rahorak lines are broken along with their will to fight. I do not answer as the spear is called back to my hand by the magic she so craves. Its return and echo is of my own thrust. So does he have the ability? It looks like, I mean, I'm going to learn about his abilities because we haven't seen his actual gameplay at all, Pantheon. I'm assuming, can he just like call back the spear or something? Does it just reappear in his hand? The Ascended has left no blood upon its tip, only sand. It possesses no flesh other than magic and stone. I want to tell her my name, that I am Atreus, that I too was once a Rahorak looking to the skies for the power to save me. But that man is dead. He died on Targon's peak along with his brother Pylus, slain by the Pantheon and by his own failures, and no matter how hard I try, I can bring neither Atreus nor Pylus back. Even the god is gone, its constellation torn from the heavens. So is he saying he's like let the old Atreus die and now he's become something even like different? He's become his own version of Pantheon? Is that kind of why we don't actually even call him Pantheon? Or I mean Atreus? Because he's kind of like let that man or mortal being or that personality die. Instead, I turn to face the creature once more. You must fight, I tell the Rahorak simply. You all must. Around us, the ruined city burns as the Ascendant's magic refuses to fade. So this is just some basic creature that we're not going to get the name of. It's not anybody important. Okay. I run over sand fused into glass, each new blast of magic shaking the whole world, until it feels like the earth itself must fall apart. That only the heavens will remain. But I refuse to give up. I see Balliste abandoned on the ground. The Rahorak raise their shields against debris cast from fallen buildings and disappearing into dust. Fight, you must fight, I yell louder, my voice carrying more of the god's authority than I would like, and then I am upon it, my spear slashing into the Ascended, cutting across the broken stone it boasts instead of a face. This close, its blast crashed into my shield, pushing me backward. I slash again, my spear trailing magic, and again I raise my shield only just in time to deflect the Ascended's wrath. My feet dig into the dirt. I want to see this in a cinematic, man. Anytime we get like these action scenes in a story, I just want a cinematic. I mean, I get it though, like making a cinematic's a lot of work, so. My feet dig into the dirt. I struggle to hold the beast at bay as the magic beats into me with a Descendant's will, made only stronger by cruelty and rage. I push against it, snarling, and power lances off the shield wildly in every direction, cutting through the ruins, the sky, and through the Raharok still cowering beneath both. My hands begin to shake, and it is not to the warriors but to myself that I growl against lungs gasping for breath. Fight. The creature's eyes narrow. It knows. The earth beneath me can no longer hold. My strength can no longer hold. As I fall back to earth, the magic in my spear dies, and the helm clatters from my coughing face. Oh, he's getting weak here. Okay. I spit blood into the dirt. Still technically like mortal, essentially, or what? And struggle to raise my head, but all I can see of Naramazeth is that one Harok warrior, framed by smoke and chaos, as she looks back at me, into eyes only now revealed, and for the first time sees something other than an aspect, the man who cradled Pylus as snow formed from his dying breath. I wonder if she recognizes the stars and my destiny tattooed upon my chest, the scar that cuts through them. It is no longer pleading that shows in her eyes, as I see the light grow in her face, the creature gathering power for one more blast. Though her arm is ruined and though her friend lies still, she picks up her shield and begins stumbling toward me, as inevitable and determined as death. Oh, does she sacrifice herself? She sees him as just like another guy now. She doesn't see him as like an aspect. She's, okay, so what is your name? I cough through ragged breaths, and still the light grows brighter. Asose, she says firmly as she stands beside me and turns her shield to face the blast. The ruins fill with impossible brightness that promises to burn everything away until it does and only darkness is left. There is no more power, no more aspect. Where Asose once stood, there is nothing, only my memory. Whoa, okay. Does everybody just die? But still, I can feel my scar throbbing with pain, reminding me I am alive, because this dude just doesn't die. And every moment that brought me here, my brother in arms, Pylus, telling me to stop getting blood on his victory, the barbarian raid, each of us near death, collapsing upon Targon's pinnacle, the darkened blade cutting through death to awaken me again, Empyrean wheat clinging to the mountain, the mud on my hands as I put down the plow and pick up the spear. This is like him having flashbacks right here, essentially. All of that would be nothing without a woman taking up her shield, knowing that she would not survive, but that she would fight. Her power, her sacrifice, so much greater than that of the stars, so much greater than mine and the weapons of the aspect that have kept me safe. Wow, this lady really did sacrifice herself for Pantheon. That's crazy. It will not be in vain. Like, he was actually going to die, I think, here. As I struggle to my feet, broken, I see the shadow of the Raharok emerging from the cover, eclipsing the sun disk cradle behind me at the center of the ruins. I rise with them, not as a god, but as a man. My Pantheon, all who have fallen, earning me another moment. All who have lived and all who have died facing a moment of truth where they must decide why they fight, who they love, what they truly are. So he's definitely like, I don't know, he's a man of the people. That's all I gotta say. And when it comes into battle and stuff. What are gods before this courage? They are nothing. Asose, I yell into the ruins, though my ribs dig into my lungs. Ugh, that sounds terrible. Asose, the Raharok call back. They too stand amidst the rubble, their shadow looming all the larger as the Ascended gathers its magic again. So all the people are still alive and they're all going to charge in, yeah? And though I am broken, and though the god is dead, I feel the power ignite once more in my spear, as the plume on my helm bursts alight. It is calling me to battle as the Raharok cast their spears once more. And for a moment, a star lost with the constellation of war gleams brighter than the sun. Her name was Asose. Oh, what a powerful last sentence there. Oh, that's like you know what I mean? Like, she was a martyr for the cause. That's such a freaking powerful sentence. Her name was Asose. That's so good. So this kind of, I will say, so this story, in my opinion, kind of shows us like essentially the limits of Pantheon's power, kind of. So he's not like, he almost is like kind of immortal, but like not, because he's just a man. And it seems like he just can't die though either. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just seems like Atreus can't really die. I mean, who knows? I mean, Asose here probably actually saved him. So like, can he actually die? I don't know. She definitely sacrificed herself to help him or save him though. And, you know, I mean, he's definitely got some magical powers with the spear and everything like that. And people see him that he is an aspect, but it's like the part right here at the very end is saying, you know, though the god is dead, I still feel the power ignite once more in the spear as the plume on my helm bursts to light. So, you know what I mean? There is still some magical aspect happening here that he's gaining with the spear. Yeah, I thought this was a fun story. I do really enjoy like hearing the descriptions of like any of the action type stories. I think they're really fun, and they always just make me want to have a cinematic for these stories, of course. But I know making a cinematic isn't a cheap thing, number one. And number two, it is also, you know, a very taxing and long process to make cinematics, so it's not easy. But I do appreciate the stories nonetheless. So guys, in the rest of this reaction, I am going to do Pantheon's voice lines from Legends of Runeterra. We're going to take a look at his fandom wiki, and we're going to take a look at some of his skins. I actually can't recall if we've reacted to Pantheon's theme. I think we have, but we might check that out as well. So stick around for all that stuff, okay? All right, next up we have the gameplay preview. This came out about 3 years ago. I think it's just like a quick overview of his gameplay, and I haven't seen it at all. Like, I don't know how he actually plays in League of Legends, so this is going to be my first time ever seeing Pantheon in-game. So I'm going to probably pause it. It's literally only like a minute and 20 seconds long. It's not going to go through in detail like kind of the abilities or anything, but let's just go ahead and take a look at what we got here.
I have faced many self-proclaimed gods.
Mount Targon.
But when they die, you cannot hear their howls above the wind.
Ooh.
The god died. The man lives.
I love that. Okay, ooh, what is this? Is like a totally different breakdown or style. So wait a minute. It says all new. Okay, 3 abilities were changed, or no, 2 abilities were adjusted, and then 3 new things are new, or 3 things are new. So the passive is brand new, the Q is new, and the E is new. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so Mortal Will is his passive. It's not actually telling me what's going on here. Comet Spear, so he throws his spear with Q. Okay. W was adjusted. That's a shield vault. So he goes forward with his shield and attacks. That's pretty cool. Oh, so same thing with E. Oh, whoa, hold on. Okay, so W is what? W is like a shield vault. So he vaults with the shield forward and attacks. But his E is a little different. So you can assault with it. It's a shield, and then he's just like stabbing forward with the spear, or you can use it defensively. How often, I wonder, I haven't seen this before, I don't think, on another character, but like how often is it being used defensively versus offensively? Like has there been some like crazy pro plays with Pantheon's E ability where they've used it like super defensively to like stay alive from something? I'd have to check that out. That's cool. And then what's the ultimate? Grand Starfall. Wait. Okay, he can go extremely far. How far can he go with that? Okay, he can go extremely far. Okay, that's a sick ultimate. I like that. He essentially like uses the heavens or whatever, the stars to like guide him to a new place in the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Okay, is there another video of like just showing his actual... No, there isn't. I was going to say, is there like another breakdown, like the traditional breakdown of Pantheon's character? But I don't think there is. We're just going to go right into it, though, guys. We're going to go into the Pantheon reveal for Legends of Runeterra, which is right here at the bottom. We're just going to go right into it.
By my spear, the gods will know.
Pantheon scars give him strength.
Today we say enough.
Okay, he is a 4 mana, 4/2. You've targeted allies in 5 different rounds for level up. Okay. Targeted 5 different allies. Interesting.
Is this the face of fear?
Okay, faded. How are Targon style cards in Legends of Runeterra? Are they pretty good? I have not tried any Mount Targon cards.
Onwards.
Okay, so it's like a lot of buffing and stuff for Pantheon's kind of level up abilities. It's like just buffing your own allies and stuff. I see.
Immortality is a lie.
I want to see the level up animation. We're gonna see it here soon.
Worry. I am here.
Derek.
All must die.
Do not stand against me.
Okay, yep, more buffs going to allies.
Together.
Is this level up now? Yeah, here we go. Oh, not yet? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, these are a bunch of... That's Diana, I'm assuming, right? This all looks like that kind of aesthetic of, like, this, the Lunari. It's a bunch of, like... What are these? Weapons? Calibrum, Severum, Gravitum, Infernum, and Crescendum. Okay, anyways. Oh, it's a phase of the moon? Is that what's going on there? Interesting. I just want to see his level up.
Protect all.
I'm liking all the aesthetic of the Mount Targon cards, though. They're very cool looking.
Are you ready to destroy a demon?
Like I said, I need to learn like the
I'm
Solari
ready
and
to run
Lunari
away.
stuff too. Okay, here we go.
I will make the gods remember this day.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So that's essentially what he's doing in League of Legends. That man is leaving Earth. I mean, leaving Runeterra, and then like just descending back down. That's pretty cool. So he's now a 5/3. When I'm summoned or level up, grant me a random keyword for each round you've targeted allies this game. So he just gets a random keyword, okay? Cool.
Atreus, let us pull our enemies.
Those who endure are
I do not
rewarded.
fight for you, creature.
Who? Okay, I have to pause. Who was he talking to here? What's this card? Cam? What was it? It was like this massive Cam for the Doubt. It looks like it's a dragon of some sorts. What's the lore here with that? Okay.
Atreus, let us pull our enemies apart.
I do not fight for you.
Let us pull our
creature.
enemies apart. I like that. That's a cool line.
Stand resolute. There is nowhere left to go but up.
Face my shield.
Each life a rare jewel.
Worth fighting for. Worth dying for. We will shake the heavens with our victory.
Okay, let's go ahead and pause. I want to take a look at some of the other cards in here. It's just fun to look at that kind of stuff. Sometimes it actually helps with like lore and just like getting a feel for all the things surrounding the character. We stand together. It's just like a buff. Yeah, because like some of these actually have like Pantheon in the image too. So like the card against the odds. If your opponent has more units than you, grant an ally +1/+1 for each extra unit they have. Shield Vault. Okay, yeah, there's his ability. Grant an ally +1/+1 and stun an enemy. Oh, so Shield Vault stuns then, I'm assuming, also in League of Legends. Blinded Mystic. We have Cam for the Doubt. You guys let me know if there's anything I need to know about this. I'm assuming Dragon. We have a Freed Colossus. Ayula, never heard of her before. And then Saga Seeker. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Pantheon seems fun. He seems like in typical... So if anybody else, you know, knows card games and stuff like that from other, you know, like Hearthstone, or I guess let me just reference specifically Magic the Gathering. There are what are called human decks in that card game that usually their method of winning is usually putting a lot of units out and then just buffing those units, because usually those units are like just kind of weak. So generally you want to have like some sort of cards in there that get some benefits from like buffing your allies, and that's essentially what Pantheon seems like. So very cool. You guys let me know how Pantheon is in Legends of Runeterra, and let me know overall how like Mount Targon cards work in Legends of Runeterra. Like what's kind of their style? Is it just like the whole buffing up style, or what? Is there anything else we have here at the end? No. Okay, so the only other video that we would have to check out for Pantheon, I believe, would be the call, but we have unfortunately already watched that. If you want to go check that out, that's in my cinematic reaction videos, part 1 through 8, where we reacted to all the League of Legends cinematics, so you can check that out in there. We're going to just move on and take a look at his skins, and we're going to eventually do his Legends of Runeterra Voicelines. All right, so it looks like Pantheon has a decent amount of skins here. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick my top 3. You guys let me know what your favorite Pantheon skin is in the comments. I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. Of course, we're going to start off with his original skin here. Very cool looking, very awesome. I'm going to stick it in the top 3 for now. I don't actually remember how old Pantheon is. Based on, okay, yeah, based on like what the skins are and whatnot, it doesn't seem like he's too old. Like, for example, we just reacted to Katarina in the last video, and you could tell with some of her early skins that they were pretty old, right? So, all right, next we have Myrmidon. Ooh, he's like in full out decked armor. You can't even see his face or nothing. I love the helmet. I love the shield. And he's just got like lava pouring on him. I like it. I'm not going to put it in the top 3 just yet. I don't know what's up ahead. Next one's called Ruthless. You know what this is giving me? This is giving me like Borderlands vibes, mostly because of like, what are they, the psychos in Borderlands? They kind of like wear helmets like this or have like random like shields like this. I don't think it's my favorite. It kind of looks like he's like a biker Pantheon. It's a little weird. I don't know if I like it. I mean, it's okay, but it's not my fave. All right, Perseus. So this is like oh, okay, come on, look at the shield. The Greek mythology stuff obviously is gonna look really cool. This one's going on the top 3 for now. It looks like he has Poseidon's spear, and then he has like I don't know who has horns like that in Greek mythology or anything specifically, and then but obviously he has Medusa's shield, and that looks really awesome. So yes, this one's top 3, and maybe it'll stay. We'll see. I don't know. Next we have Full Metal. Interesting. So it's like semi-futuristic. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it is like pretty semi-futuristic, but also old. I mean, he's still using a spear and a shield, which is very old school, right? But it's like a mixture of the two. I don't know if it's a top fave for me, but let's keep moving. Next, we have Glaive Warrior. So this is kind of like, yeah, he's got, it's got like Destiny Warriors vibes, maybe, kind of. If you guys know what I mean by the game's Destiny Warriors. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. The armor's okay. I do like the red cape's pretty cool. The helmet's pretty cool as well, of course, with the like, I'm assuming it's a wolf and then like white hair flowing. Not my favorite again. Like, I don't know. I'm starting to be pickier with these skins now, I think. As if it's not like initially grabbing me like the Perseus one did a little bit, then I'm not putting it in the top 3. Next we have Dragon Slayer looks like it's straight out of like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Which is, I don't personally play those games all that much, but I still love like the aesthetic of Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and this looks really awesome. Dragon Slayer looks insanely cool. Let me see an in-game. Oh, the shield. We didn't even get to see the shield from it's got like a massive eye on it. Okay, this is absolutely like Elden Ring or Dark Souls style. I love this. Dragon Slayer, top 3. All right, next up we have Zombie Slayer. Now, interesting. I mean, it's kind of cool. I like Jinx actually a little bit in the background left here. Yeah, I mean, it's cool if you like this kind of aesthetic. I don't know if it's really my vibe, though. It doesn't really fit Pantheon, you know what I mean? But to be fair, you know, like sometimes people like that about certain skins like this, where like it's a little bit of a different take on the character, right? All right, let's move on. Like, for example, Baker Pantheon. You know, it's pretty good. You know, if you want to be a chef as Pantheon, go for it. Do I want to put it in my top 3? It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of digging it. We're gonna move on. Hold on. I don't think I'm gonna put it in my top 3. All right, we have a Pulsefire skin. I think the only Pulsefire skin that I've seen besides this one is Ezreal's, which Ezreal's is pretty good. Basically like an Iron Man suit. This one, ooh, I was gonna say, do we have in-game? I feel like this one I need to see in-game. Now, in-game, this looks insane, actually. That looks really, the spear, like, look at the spear here. That looks crazy cool. It's more like a glaive or something in this. This is gonna be a top 3, I think. And you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the original out. I just tend to like, I don't want to say it's a cop-out to keep the original in, because I think the originals are always very good because it's, you know, that's their character, that's their true design. I do like to have like the other skins in the top 3 and then just say like the original is always the best or something, but then I want to just have like these other set of 3. So we're gonna do Pulsefire. What was it? Pulsefire, Perseus, and Dragon Slayer is so cool to me. I think that one's my favorite, actually. All right, next we have Ruined. Okay, so this comes from the Ruination saga. So this is when, I'm assuming this is like when, because we did react to Viego, basically Viego takes over Pantheon and like corrupts him, and then Pantheon is working for Viego. I'm assuming this is what the look is going for here. You know, it's okay. I think I actually like it when it's not purple or not green, the Viego green. I think I like it when it's purple or like this orange hue better, but it's not going to be my fave. Let's go on. Next, we have Prestige Ascended. So we have Ascended Pantheon. Interesting. It's a prestige version of it. He looks like he's, his whole body's made of like celestial skin. It's kind of interesting. It's not my fave. I don't know. I think the shields and the spears are like what I'm usually kind of looking at here. Some of the armors aren't my fave. Like the armor on this, I don't think is all that great. But the shield and the spear, like I'm not going to doubt those. Those are really, really good. Let's go ahead and move on. We have Ashen Conqueror. Let me see it in game. I was going to say, does it have an in game? He looks cool, but he kind of doesn't even look like Pantheon here. It's good, but it's not my fave. All right, guys, let me know what you think of my top 3 skins, and let me know, of course, your favorite skin or one that you've been using lately or something like that if you can't answer the top 3. But my top 3 are going to be Pulsefire, not really from the picture here, but mostly from what it looks like in game. Perseus is going to be my other fave, and then Dragon Slayer, because Dragon Slayer, it looks so cool. Like, this to me looks insane. And he almost looks like a Darkin here more than anything, actually. But it's just like, again, it's like the Dark Souls Elden Ring aesthetic. It looks really awesome. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at his character fandom wiki page here. We're skipping over the early life. It's basically just a repeat of what we read in his biography. But I want to go through the aspect of war stuff and resurrection of Pantheon and just see if there's anything new in here that we may have not known about. So Atreus and his Rahoric companions were ambushed by a barbarian incursion looking to make way into Racker territory. The battle would leave most of the patrol dead, save for Atreus and Pylus. The two would seek retribution for their fallen comrades from the aspect of the sun. Okay, we do know this. But the aspect refused to lend aid to fight off the trespassers making their way into their homes. Outraged, Atreus and Pylus vowed to end the fight themselves by making the climb to Targon's Peak to acquire power. Similar to the many people that previously attempted to make the climb, the two underestimated the intensity and difficulty of the task. It was a difficult trial, as the two would eventually make their way to the top, but with Pylus dying on the peak of the mountain in Atreus' arms, with Atreus the only one at the peak, the skies opened for the gods to choose their host. Atreus was taken by the aspect of war, the Pantheon. Pantheon deemed Atreus too unworthy to wield the power it possessed, but war needed a host body. It took over Atreus' body, stopping Atreus from having any control over the body that Pantheon now inhabited. What Atreus endured while in Pantheon took over his body were visions of Pantheon looking for the Darkin across Runeterra and the living weapons that remained after the Darkin Wars. Eventually, Pantheon faced Aatrox. Aatrox sought to reach the peak of Targon, with Pantheon arriving to stop the Darkin's ascent. They battled, and it ended with Aatrox driving his blade into the aspect, killing it and erasing its constellation from the skies. With Pantheon gone, Atreus reawoke, finding himself impaled with the Darkin's blade. Bleeding and on the verge of death, Atreus spit on Aatrox's face as an act of defiance, which I love that. Aatrox was bemused by this and left Atreus to die. Atreus stood back up, powered with nothing but bitter rage and regret at his own failings. He stumbled his way into Racker territory until he reached the home of Iula. Oh, right, Iula, the widowed wife of Pylus. Of course I know who she is. That's the wife of Pylus. I can't believe I didn't realize that in the Legends of Runeterra video. She nursed him back to health, and as Atreus recovered, he was reinvigorated to keep fighting, finding pride in being a mortal human being instead of a god. While he recovered, he received news that a barbarian incursion was headed towards the territory that included Iula's farm. Atreus learned that it was led by Aatrox, who convinced the barbarians to invade Targonian settlements. Atreus picked up his weapons and headed to battle to confront Aatrox in an attempt to put an end to the madness. You know what? This just popped in my head. You know what this reminds me of? This is going to be a spoiler, okay? For anybody that has not seen Marvel's Thor, Love and Thunder. Spoiler warning, okay? Spoiler alert. But Pantheon's ideology kind of reminds me of Gore, the God Butcher, from that movie. Only in the sense that, Atreus kind of feels betrayed by gods. So did Gore, the God Butcher. And then Gore, the God Butcher wanted... Well, you don't see it as much in the movies. I know I've heard it's a little bit more telling in the comics. But he goes around trying to kill all the gods, right? And it's kind of like the same thing with Pantheon. He dislikes gods. He dislikes Darkin. Anybody with, like, superpowers, essentially. He's kind of over it. It's kind of the same concept. I just thought it was kind of similar. When Atreus reached the site of battle, Aatrox saw the lack of power flowing through his spear and the scar which seared into both his shield and his body. Despite Aatrox's advantages, Atreus fought him, invigorated by the cries of the people around him. Just before he was about to be defeated, Atreus stuck Aatrox's sword arm, detaching the Darkin from its host. Okay, yeah, there we go. This act brought back Pantheon's constellation into the sky, and Atreus made a vow to be the shield, to protect all mortals against those that wanted to destroy them. Forsaking his name, he instead took the mantle of the Pantheon, the aspect of war. All right, resurrection of Pantheon. Atreus was present when Viego came to Targon to search for a fetter of Queen Isolde's soul. He battled the Ruined King at the peak, but was overwhelmed by the time the Sentinels of Light arrived. Atreus' consciousness was subsumed, but Pantheon was resurrected by the king's magic and had taken control of his body. Oh, Pantheon attempted to bury the Sentinels with an avalanche while Viego continued his search. When the Sentinels retaliated, Pantheon summoned an army of ghouls and leapt into battle. He was eventually defeated by Diana, but Viego had already secured the fetter. Pantheon went to the Shadow Isles and guarded the Sentinels as they made their final stand against the Ruined King. where Viego would revive his king. When Viego was defeated, Atreus was freed and reclaimed his body from Pantheon. Okay, so very interesting. I don't know how this must be mentioned elsewhere, or it must be mentioned in maybe a story from Diana or something, because this is it seems like a very detailed story of like, yeah, like it says that he summons an army of ghouls and then there's like an avalanche. So this must be detailed somewhere that I don't know about. But this is kind of cool that Diana comes in and defeats him. That's very cool. Again, I want to react to Diana and Leona at some point. I don't really know too much about the Solari and Lunari stuff. I don't know if it's going to come into play a little bit more in the future. Who knows? All right, we have recent events. This is from In Battle Broken and The Call, which The Call is a pretty recent cinematic. After the aspect of war was defeated once again, Atreus visited Iula again. While there, he told her that he had finally given up. After the aspect was defeated, Atreus lost his celestial powers and couldn't go on. He considered himself defeated after having experienced so much and didn't resist Iula when she pointed his own spear to his chest, even pulling it towards himself so that she could finish the job that the aspect had started. Iula responded to this with anger. She told him that Pylus had died to make him the protector that he had become, and the fact that he was throwing everything away was an insult to her and Pylus' memory. You tell him, Iula. Pantheon left in shame, thinking of what Iula said. Despite his despair, Atreus was reinvigorated by what Iula said. With unclear motives, Atreus traveled into the territory of the Solari to the location of a portal that they had constructed that went to the peak of Mount Targon. The Solari, along with Leona, fought him. Despite fighting valiantly, Pantheon was knocked off of the cliff that they were fighting on by a comet of unknown origin. At the bottom of the cliff, surrounded by the bodies and weapons of fallen soldiers, Atreus sat in quiet reflection. During this time, he found a reinvigorated passion. With this newfound passion, Atreus' celestial powers returned, and he flew into the night sky. Is that like all that happens here? What exactly happens here in the Call video? Somebody give me a quick breakdown of what actually occurs to Pantheon in the Call video. All right, appearance. Atreus is a physically imposing warrior with a physique that is carved from a lifetime of training as a soldier. A deep scar runs across his chest, a scar which he received when he was impaled by Aatrox's darkened blade. He sports the cape of Solstice, a blue ethereal cape with constellations of the sky gleaming from the very fabric. With certain in-game depictions, when Pantheon has his helmet on, his visage darkens, tying into identity as a faceless soldier of war defending humanity. When his helmet is off, he has a mohawk and sports a thick beard, tied up to keep straight. His face and much of his body have golden Solari-based golden tattoos which harken back to his Raharok days. When Pantheon was briefly resurrected from being ruined by Viego, Pantheon's appearance changed drastically. Like most of the ruined champions, Pantheon's chest had the dark and green downward-facing triangle, signifying his ruination. The shield he wielded bared a face with some similarity to Atreus. On top of a loincloth, Pantheon wears dark jeans and boots to match. The top of his helmet was a plume with long and thick white fur. All right, personality. Stoic and unwavering, Atreus as Pantheon possesses a strong fighting spirit. As a stalwart defender of humanity, Pantheon often feels overencumbered by his duties and his expectations as an aspect. Despite his failings, he presses forward stubbornly, and he encourages all his compatriots to do the same. He is not very accepting of most godlike beings with immense powers, which includes aspects, darkens, ascendants, and demons alike. Given his own experience with war, Pantheon is hesitant in placing his trust with greater powers, preferring to rely on his own mortal will to fight his battles. Okay. Very cool stuff here. All right, abilities. Aspect empowerment. Atreus had been chosen as an Aspect's host, empowering him with celestial magic correspondent with the Aspect's role. In Atreus' case, he has been chosen by the Aspect of war. Unlike other hosts thought, Atreus and Aspect's personalities have not merged, but the Aspect seized the right to control. After Aatrox killed the Aspect, Atreus took back control of the body. Enhanced physical power. The ascension into an Aspect has greatly increased Atreus' strength, resistance, and durability to the levels of superhuman far above any mortal. Celestial magic. Pantheon can call forth the power of the stars to increase the power of his attacks. Weapon proficiency. Pantheon has weapons that he carries with him at all times that help him battle. Of course, he has the spear. He's gifted with the use of the spear. The spear that he wields is imbued with his celestial magic, making it stronger, more durable, and able to fly him back to battle. Shield. Like his spear, Pantheon's shield is imbued with his celestial magic, making it much more durable. All right, let's take a look at the relationships. Not too many, actually. He's kind of just been, just there in Pantheon, or just there in Targon. He hasn't really gone anywhere else, I guess. All right, so we have Pylus, of course. Pylus was Atreus' childhood friend, which he deeply respected. Both would climb Mount Targon after the aspect of the sun denied their pleas to fight invading barbarians, with only Atreus surviving the climb. Iula was the wife of Pylus. Inspired by the actions of her husband and Atreus, she would take up a spear and fight for the mortals of Targon against foes such as Camphor. Okay, so that's a foe of theirs. Years later, Iula would remind a broken Atreus of his purpose, reigniting his determination and warrior spirit. Leona. Atreus would fight Leona while trying to reach the peak of Mount Targon. That's all we have, okay? All right, so yeah, his relationship with the aspect of war. The Pantheon is the Targonian celestial aspect of war, a being that, uncommon among aspects, completely possessed the body of the current host, Atreus. After the death of the aspect at the hands of Aatrox, Atreus would be freed from the aspect's control. He would briefly be controlled by a resurrected aspect during his events of the Ruination. Atreus resents the warrior for his arrogance towards mortals, an opinion that has shaped most of Atreus' viewpoints towards godlike beings. Somebody edited this, and the spelling is terrible. He now prides in the power and resilience of mortals, and opposes the greater powers that threaten the world. Okay, Aatrox. Aatrox is instrumental in killing the aspect that had shackled Atreus since his ascension. Atreus would survive this encounter with a scar going down his chest as a constant reminder. Later succeeded in his second fight against the Darkened Blade, reigniting the aspect's power. Tor. Who's Tor? Atreus inspired many mortals to fight in order to protect others, one of which is Tor, a saga seeker that would eventually fight against a demon known as Camphor. Oh, Camphor is a demon. Oh, is Camphor like a lesser demon or something compared to, you know, like Tom Kench and them? Eshime? I'm just going to say Eshime. Atreus inspired many mortals to fight in order to protect others, one of which is Eshime, a revered oracle that was blinded by the demon Camphor, which he would eventually fight against. Where is this lore coming from with Camphor? I don't know. Okay, I guess right here. Camphor was a demon who stalked the lands of Targon for centuries, using the people's very own doubt as a tool against them. Atreus and the group of warriors would eventually confront this demon and fight her until she was slain. Where is that story? There's a whole story here of like these Targonians fighting Camphor. Interesting. Camphor is not gonna be a character in League of Legends. It'd be kind of cool if we got more demons. I do want more demons in League of Legends. Zareth. Atreus and dozens of Raharak fought against Zareth and Naramazeth. Okay. And then Viego. Atreus fought and was defeated by Viego, who resurrected the aspect of war and subsumed Atreus. He was eventually freed from Viego and aspect's control after the Ruined King was defeated with the aid of Diana and the rest of the Sentinels of Light. Okay, so yeah. Not too many relations with actual other League of Legends characters like whatsoever. Basically just Aatrox. Nothing else, actually. Just Aatrox, which is fine. We're still going to get more voice lines from him. I'm pretty sure like when we reacted to his voice lines in the other video, he still has voice lines with other people. So anyways, do we have anything else down here? We do have a little bit of trivia. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Pantheon is a Raker warrior named Atreus, whose body was possessed by the aspect of war before being slain by Aatrox. Atreus was able to resurface after the aspect has died. The card The Warrior depicts the aspect in Atreus' body. Right. The aspect of war. Okay. That's the card there. The Warrior. Anyways, Pantheon dedicates himself to the protection of mortals against the darkened aspects and others with great power. Pantheon wields the armor and weapons of the previous hosts, the aspects of war. They were imbued with celestial magic and became holy objects before the aspect of war was killed. His spear is named Skyfall and was used by a host named Arion. His shield is named Aegis and was used by a host named Zeonia. His cloak is named Solstice and was used by a host named Astrea. His helmet is named Nova and is used by his current host, Atreus. That's kind of cool. I like the names of each, each weapon or item here. According to rioters who worked on Pantheon, he stands at 5'9". Oh, snap. He's not very tall. All right, we got some cool stuff here. I would say we probably didn't really learn too much new. I guess we did learn a little bit about this Camphor demon thing that's was stalking in Targon. We also have we learned a little bit about what happened with the whole Ruination event with Pantheon. We learned that he was taken over by Viego or whatever, but we didn't really learn what actually happened. He eventually just ends up losing that fight, but he does learn a few little abilities here, and Pantheon takes over Atreus again a little bit. There's a little bit of a mystery here. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what actually happens in the call video for Pantheon. I've seen it. I've seen it a few times, I think. I just don't exactly know what fully goes on with that video for Pantheon. So let me know in the comments on that one. Of course, we went through his appearance and personality and abilities. I don't think I learned anything new abilities-wise. We did learn that Iula had to, tell him, dude, you know, she had to help him with some self-talk and be like, you're a good guy, just get your stuff together, you got this. So she kind of helped him in that aspect as a good friend. But yeah, I don't think we really learned too much more actually in the little wiki here. But last but not least, we do have his Legends of Runeterra voice lines. We're going to go ahead and do that last here. And then I think that's it for part 2, okay? All right, everybody, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Legends of Runeterra voice lines on YouTube. That's the name that they go by. But anyways, we're going to check out Pantheon's Legends of Runeterra voice lines specifically. Now, again, I've already reacted to this stuff before. I reacted to his League of Legends voice lines specifically in the part 1 video. That was when I was really just getting into the reactions for League of Legends. I didn't know what I should like react to for all of the characters. I was initially just told, hey, just take a look at their voice lines. But, you know, I wanted to really dive into these characters and learn more about them so I could actually understand the voice lines instead of just like from you guys in the comments. But of course, the comments still help. But yeah, so now we know to like listen to or read the biography and the stories and check out their fandom wikis and things like that. So we're going to do the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. But again, in part 1 video, which I'll link up above, we did the reaction to his League of Legends voice lines. I don't think there will be any repeats in this because, I mean, this is all specifically Legends of Runeterra voice lines, and I don't think we had any of those in the initial video. So let's go ahead and check this out. Now, hold on.
I'm gonna bop him like this.
All right, this is Yuumi.
Strike true, little lioness.
Yumi's adorable. All right, here we go.
Today we say enough.
All right, getting into it.
Who better to accompany
Saga
me
Seeker.
to what's beyond? Then the demon that thought you dead. We will find you a good death, my friend.
Is that supposed to be Pylus?
I know. I am ready.
Or what? No. Okay.
Peace is a trail painted with blood. And we have bled.
Oh, I like his response. Okay.
A soldier stands among us. We are all soldiers this day.
This is a little bit more of a somber Pantheon
Today
because he's
we
talking to
say
one of his fellow
enough.
comrades, you know,
And the gods will listen.
compared to his lines with Aatrox.
Today we stand.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow we live.
Ayula, okay, Pylus's wife.
Yola, are you ready to stand for Pylus?
No, Atreus. I will stand for us all.
Nice.
Your scars will be repaid in full.
Now, is this Camphor? Who's that? I don't know.
Such power. Is that you, Atreus?
Blinded Mystic.
When I earn that name, I will take it back. Are you ready
I think he's
to
earned it.
destroy a demon, Oracle?
I'm ready to light the way, Atreus.
Okay, there's been 2 mentions of a demon so far. Oh, are they talking about that one demon that they have to take out? I can't even remember the name, and we just read about it in the freaking fandom wiki. That demon that's like kind of in Targon, just, you know, harassing people essentially.
To your feet, Guardian. We must all fight back.
It must be a lesser demon.
The land knows truth and fights with us. Take to the skies. Find her.
Okay. Oh, Aspect of War, the warrior. Whoa, that voice is insane.
Dead, and I am better for it.
Hey, you tell him, Atreus.
Atreus,
That's
let us
Camphor.
pull our enemies apart.
I
Oh,
do not fight for you, creature.
oh. What's the whole lore with Camphor? Like, there's some lore background that I don't know about this.
Atreus, show our enemies the meaning of loss.
The design of it's really
A
cool.
meaning you will soon understand. Comfort.
Okay.
Soldiers, our day has come.
He really wants to kill
Can you
Camphor.
kill me, Atreus? Do you still have the strength?
Oh, that's a taunt.
You cannot end loss, Atreus.
No, but I can end the beast who feeds on it.
I don't know what that's talking about.
Yours was a happy childhood, Atreus. Lost.
So wait, Camphor knows his childhood?
Demon, your cruelty ends this day.
Oh, is Camphor literally the demon? There you go.
Today we say
Playtime! I mean, enough!
Yumi's obviously going to be
fight till
adorable
our last
to react
breath.
to.
Oh, good thing you guys have 9 lives, right?
Right? I like Yumi's line.
I'm gonna bop him like this. Bop, bop.
Strike two, little lioness.
That's kind of cute. That little line between them.
Today we are destroyers.
It's a little weird to hear a cat talk,
and show
though.
no fear.
All right, who's this? Oh, Tarek, right?
Each life a rare jewel.
I think that's how you say his name.
Worth fighting for. Worth dying for.
I know he is from Mount Targon. We don't know any of his lore, though.
I bring clarity.
No, you bring lies and false hope.
Tarek brings lies and false hope. Why?
Beauty and life.
Okay.
Veiled behind an aspect's deceit.
Oh, does Tarek have one of the aspects within him?
I'm ready to shine.
The mountain only lied to you, Tariq.
Okay, you guys are going to have to tell me that stuff. The mountain. So Mount Targon lied to Tarek. But what about?
Chosen of the sun.
Leona.
Light must only guide us, Leona.
I mean, she probably agrees.
The power of the immortal sun.
Immortality is a lie. This I know.
Yeah, but again, right? Like, he does not like anybody with powers. He thinks any kind of like immortality or anything like that. Ever since his encounter with the aspect of war and like him dying and everything, he thinks everything with like special powers should not exist. That includes
Divine
Leona.
light shines within me.
And tethers you to another's will.
There you go. He sees it as some kind of control, right?
Question all that you are told.
By all, even the gods.
Diana looks cool. Oh, just the one line. Is that Malphite? Yeah. Crag.
What is more trustworthy than the ground beneath our feet?
Okay. Now what is this?
We fall as light upon darkness.
These are just like regular lines of his, probably.
Upon our return, death.
Okay. What is that?
Pair up!
That's a funny picture.
Lock shields! Enough words!
Oh, okay. Hold on. Pause. We can see him actually about to throw the spear at Camphor in the background on that one. That's cool.
Your lies end here.
There's got to be some sort of story that was
No,
involved that I
you
didn't
will
read
listen.
about. There's like a short story, maybe. Camphor
We
again.
face death together.
These are just like his
Find
regular
yourself.
lines, like
This
if you were
way.
talking to an army or something, or trying to pump up his army. Is that all we get?
We cry out.
We're
No
getting the
more
level up
gods,
animation again.
No more demons.
It's good. I like that at level up animation. I think it's really good. Is that all we get here? Yes, it is. All right, let's go ahead and go back here. So let's go through the lines just a little bit again. I want to talk about Pantheon's lines, and then we'll just talk about them a little bit more, and then you guys can let me know your thoughts as well. So he has a couple of lines here with the Saga Seeker. I think the one line that I questioned was just about the demon, but I realized it's Camphor. The Ayula lines or whatever are fine. They make sense. There's a mention of Pylus, which is really nice. He's still, he still really cares for Ayula. Like, Ayula is like his best friend essentially, because it was his best friend's wife, and they've grown to become close together and things like that. So that's very nice. What is this? It says Wounded White Flame when I hover over it. Let me know if there's anything I need to know about Wounded White Flame. Not quite sure what that is. Blinded Mystic. Why does he say when I earn that name, I will take it back? Why does he say he needs to earn his name Atreus back? Does he feel like he doesn't deserve to live? Or like what's the deal with that? I don't think I read any mention of him. I thought now more than ever he's determined to stay Atreus and stay like a man and no longer have like the powers of the aspect, right? The Freed Claw says I don't have any questions about the voice of the warrior, which is the aspect of war, was very, let's hear it again. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't sound very friendly. Let's just say that. And then there's a bunch of this stuff about Camphor, the doubt, it looks like when I hover over it. So my guess here is when Pantheon was added to Legends of Runeterra, or if he was initially in it at the beginning, I don't know exactly. was like this whole lore about Camphor the Doubt added in when they added Pantheon to Legends of Runeterra, because I saw no mention of Camphor in like any of the story or biography. There was only mention of it in the Fandom Wiki. So my guess is maybe there's another little story that I didn't read, because sometimes the characters have like a really long story that will take you like 15-20 minutes to read. I don't want to sit here reading you know what I mean, a story that's that long. But I guess let me know anything I need to know about Camphor. From what I saw in the Fandom Wiki, though, it looks like Camphor has been defeated, and it's no longer a threat in Targon. But yeah, who is Camphor the Doubt? Is it like just a lesser demon? Is there thoughts of like Camphor the Doubt becoming a character at some point, or like a playable character in the future, or what? Or is it just something that was like added to Legends of Runeterra? Let me know your guys' thoughts on Camphor. I don't know. There's a lot of voice lines in here. It's almost, you know what I mean, like a good 40 seconds of voice lines with Camphor the Doubt. So, and then obviously there's other mentions of it with other characters. I guess my only question with voice lines with him and Yuumi, I'm wondering, I don't know anything about Yuumi. I know it's just a magical cat. And Yumi's like actually kind of quite powerful, maybe. That's all I know. Oh, and I do randomly know that like Yuumi was like kind of OP in actual League of Legends and needed to be like nerfed or something, or banned recently, or maybe this was like a couple of years ago or something. I just know something along that. And then all of the Tarek stuff, I didn't understand any of it. I don't know Tarek's character at all, because Pantheon is pretty much the only Mount Targon character that I've reacted to. I mean, obviously there's not a whole bunch of characters from Mount Targon in general. Oh no, Aurelian Soul. He's not really from there, but you know, he's imprisoned there, right? So that's pretty much all I know. So I don't know anything about his character. There's like this one about you bring lies and false hope. Yeah, so I don't know anything regarding Tarek whatsoever. So you guys let me know in the comments about that one. The Leona lines are pretty much just, Leona was just kind of talking out loud, talking about her immortality and stuff. So Pantheon was just kind of denouncing her. There was the one voice line with Diana. I don't really have any questions there. The Malphite line is kind of just generic as well. I didn't really care about that one. These are all just also just like his regular voice lines that you might see in League of Legends and things like that. Just like when you summon his card, or like when you summon, yeah, this says Shield Vault whenever you use his Shield Vault card or something, right? That might be the voice line. So anyways, his voice lines are really good. Obviously, these aren't the best voice lines. The best voice lines we had were the ones in the first reaction, because they include Aatrox. Now, I didn't see in this video, though, there's a few other voice lines that I'm sure there probably are that are missing from this. So there's probably got to be some interactions between him and Aatrox in Legends of Runeterra. No, maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe they're just repeats of what's in League of Legends. And then my other question would be, oh, no, there's also usually like voice lines for when the enemy player goes idle, or whenever you have a victory and things like that. So maybe, I don't know if Pantheon just doesn't have any of those, or if this person didn't upload that in their YouTube video. But you know what I mean? It's a little bit weird sometimes, guys, when I have to react to these voice lines, because it's a little like I kind of have to go all over the place sometimes. If Skin Spotlights doesn't have a video, I got to find somebody else that's uploaded it. And then sometimes the Skin Spotlight videos actually don't have everything either. So we're just working with what we got, guys. So yeah, Pantheon, I'm glad we went into a part 2 for him, because there's a lot of things that we didn't know about his character. We didn't know like the full story of Atreus, and then like him dying. I honestly did not know that he spits in Aatrox's face. It may have been mentioned in like a comment like months and months ago, and I just totally forgot about it. But that's pretty insane that he does that. And then, you know, he actually defeats Aatrox by like cutting off the arm that it was connected to. And he does that as just a man, right? So very cool story of Pantheon and Aatrox. I know that's like one of the more favorite rivalries, I guess you can call it, within League of Legends. And everybody loves to hear their voice lines because they're all pretty crazy good. I want to know your guys' thoughts overall on Pantheon. I kind of want to know the debate between like Aatrox fans and Pantheon fans. Like, if you had to choose one, you know what I mean? I feel like I hear a lot from both. I hear a lot of people that love Aatrox. I hear a lot of people that love Pantheon. And you can totally love both, but like, which one would you choose? You know what I mean? If you had to choose one, I guess. I don't know. Who would win in a battle if they were to battle right now in lore again? Would it be Pantheon? I don't know. Aatrox might win the second round or the third round, or whatever round it technically, third round technically, right? All right, guys. Thanks again for coming in and watching the reaction. I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. The next video, we're going to just keep doing more reactions, guys. We're just going to keep reacting to more and more League of Legends characters. And just let me know in the comments what you want to see from me League of Legends wise. If there's any other kind of thing to react to for League of Legends, I know there's some controversy going on right now with the esports end. I don't know if that's something you guys would be even interested in. We have like a Katarina comic that we should react to here shortly and things like that. Just let me know if, besides just the characters of League of Legends, if there's anything else you guys want me to react to. Obviously, we got cinematics. We've already watched all of that stuff. So I'm trying to get caught up on all the characters, and I want to understand each and every character in League of Legends, and we're working our way towards it. Again, if you like the video, please leave a like. It does help the algorithm. And if you enjoyed the reaction, I'd appreciate a subscription. We do a bunch of League of Legends reactions, and we're going to keep doing them. So stay tuned. All right, guys. Thanks. Bye.